And welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. My guests this evening are Bill Gary and Gary Parrington from the At-Risk Boys Fund. Guys, welcome. How are you?
Very good. And yourself?
I'm good. Welcome.
Thank you.
No problem. So, Gary, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're involved with the At-Risk Boys Fund.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you very much for inviting Bill and myself to be here.
Not a problem.
It's critical to the success of the At-Risk Boys Fund to spread our message, and this show is going to help accomplish that. So I appreciate it very much.
No problem. Thank you.
And I am a volunteer along with Bill and other volunteers who got together to create the At-Risk Boys Fund at the Community Foundation of Middlesex County.
Okay, right.
And Bill is our chairperson. He does all the heavy lifting, and he guides the rest of us volunteers to make sure that we accomplish the various tasks throughout the year to help bring resources to the At-Risk Boys Fund.
Okay.
And we do that through a series of events, which we'd like to share with your viewers in this program.
Yep.
We do it throughout the year in different ways.
Okay.
And then we also would like to tell the story in this program about how, thanks to the generosity of the donors, those contributions are transformed into grants that go out to a variety of organizations throughout our communities who are serving at-risk boys and their families. So this is an event, or this is a fund that has a very serious side and a very fun, playful side. The raising the funds is the easy part.
Right.
The organizations that provide the services and programs for at-risk boys do incredible work, and they are to be applauded. And we'll try to cover some of that in our conversation with you today.
I guess my other question is, how did the At-Risk Boys Fund get started?
Well,
Bill?
that's a good question.
Thank you.
It goes back almost 6 years now.
Wow.
A group of individuals. We initially started raising money for Mount St. John.
Okay, sure.
And at one point, it looked like they were going to be going out of business, so to speak, with the removal of the state grants. So that's when we applied to the Community Foundation at Middlesex County, and they embraced us, and they've been very supportive. And as it turns out, Mount St. John was able to reconfigure their business model. And as it is, they apply for grants, and we've been able to give them grants throughout the years that we've been doing this.
Excellent. And like Gary said, Bill, that you are, I guess you're the founder of this specific event.
No, I'm not the founder. I mean, we have a committee, we have a rather robust committee.
All right.
Yes. And you know, it's a consensus, and everything that we do is voted on, and it's a process.
Right, of course it is.
So, you know, I'm lucky enough that they tolerate me, and I sort of drive the car when it needs to be driven.
If I can just expound a little bit.
Go for it. Yeah.
The tale
Please, Gary.
Telling. It was a very critical moment in the history of the At-Risk Boys Fund. Now, if you turn back the clock, the 6 years Bill is referring to, the At-Risk Boys Fund didn't exist. We were a group of volunteers working to raise money, and it was all about the funds going to the programs at Mount St. John Residential Treatment Facility. And as Bill said, when the residential treatment facility lost its funding and was going to have to just shutter its doors. The volunteers felt that the good work they were doing, raising money, could continue. We just needed to have a place in which to park the funds and distribute. So we approached, Bill and I sat down with Cynthia Clegg at the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, who's a magnificent woman. She's brilliant, and she's great to work with.
I've had her on, actually.
Good.
Good.
And within a heartbeat, Cynthia said, yes, of course, the foundation will work with you. So that was 3
Right.
years ago. And
Right.
in the course of 3 years,
Yes.
we have been able to raise funds and distribute almost $50,000 in grants. And we've also established a permanently endowed fund that has over $20,000 in it. And our goal is to continue to raise money so that we can distribute grants annually to the organizations who urgently need the support.
Okay.
And simultaneously continue to siphon portions of money we raise into the permanent endowment so that one day it will be a critical mass, that size of which the earnings will be able to provide ongoing funds to more and more organizations. So there's, I really want to give credit here
Yeah,
to Bill and the other volunteers
Okay.
and to the foundation, because this story is a great example of how people work together to make extraordinary things happen.
Right.
And it's very exciting for me to be connected to this because I lived through that history and know that we were just this close to the, at one point it looked like it was just all gonna go away.
Over.
It was over. And right at the perfect moment, the foundation answered our call
Yeah.
and has been absolutely fantastic to work with.
Right.
And the other thing that's important about being
Sure.
aligned with the community foundation
Right.
is that overnight it gave this cause a sense of legitimacy. No one, I mean, to be raising money and people say, well, where's this going? And we say, well, you make your check payable to the community foundation. It's of course. I mean, it's
like-
instantaneous. It's
like, yeah, no
approval.
problem.
Except there's no gray area of
Right.
where's it going to, and that venerable legitimacy
Right.
has provided us with tremendous momentum that we just are very appreciative of. So thanks to the community foundation
Yes,
viewers who are out there.
And the other aspect that also has
Sure.
evolved is now that we are reaching out and helping more boys than we were ever able to do before.
Okay.
So there's how many programs? I think it was 5 last year that we were able to give grants to.
We average 5 or 6 grants a year.
year.
The grants range from $1,000 to $5,000.
Wow.
So yes.
Excellent.
Oh yeah.
Very
oh, yeah.
nice.
This is
Very
serious stuff. And
Yeah.
when our donors are generous, we can be more generous.
Right, exactly.
Our job is we don't ask people to give to the fund. You're giving through the fund.
Right,
So,
exactly.
it's the end recipients are boys and young men
Right.
in our communities and neighborhoods, right around us, right from this spot where we're sitting today.
Right. Okay.
And I think it's important to also mention that, the Community Foundation vets all of our grant applications.
Okay,
And
sure.
the season, now the grant cycle is starting
Yes, it
in
is.
September.
Right.
And anyone can apply for a grant.
Right.
And then the Community Foundation will vet those grants and
Okay.
then send to our grant committee
Right.
those grants that are viable and that we can then, we have a grant committee that votes on it,
Right.
yay or nay,
Right.
and how much we can give. And so it's all very exciting, and we get to see the results of the work or the money that we've given. And unfortunately, not everybody can do that, but
Right.
it's really an enjoyable part of the whole process.
Speaking of enjoyable,
Yes.
can we segue to the big fundraising event that's just coming around the corner?
You know what? I think we can, and I think we should.
I thought we'd get
Maybe Pete has heard of it.
Nah.
You
Never.
haven't?
No.
You haven't heard of Cruise, Blues, and Brews?
No, tell me about
Let's
it.
Well-
hold. We have something for the camera to zoom in.
That's
on.
right.
Cruise, Blues, and Brews.
Yeah.
This is our
Our second annual.
Right.
second
Event.
annual Cruise, Blues, and
It
Brews.
is our major event.
It is.
of
All
the
right.
year.
Well, you know what, Bill? Let's talk about it. You guys are holding up the flyer, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it right now, as far as when it is, where it is,
Okay.
and
Okay.
While Bill's holding that,
Yes.
nice and steady for the
Oh,
camera.
Right.
okay.
Don't
Let me
drop
know when I can, pan in and out.
Yeah,
you know,
don't
give
drop
my
it, don't
hands- give my
sneeze.
hands a break.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
Here's what you need to know about Cruise Blues and Brews.
All right.
It's going to take place on Saturday,
Yep.
September 24th
Yep.
this year,
Correct.
2016.
Correct.
At the Chester Fairgrounds, which is, of course, in...
The town of Chester.
Correct. So very good. It is from 10 in the morning until 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Right.
And if you could imagine,
Okay.
if you took a great classic car show,
Right.
and then you took a music festival,
Okay.
and then you took a food fest,
All right.
and
rolled it all into
and a marketplace
All right.
of vendors,
Sure.
and a kids play area,
All right.
and you rolled it all into one,
Excellent.
you would have the best family fun event in the area, and it's called Cruise Blues and Brews.
All right. And from what I also understand, that the event is rain or shine.
It
Correct.
is, It is.
All right. All right.
Rain will not dampen
Rain-
our enthusiasm,
All right.
or it will make the event go away.
And
Now-
Peter, let me tell you that
Yeah,
we've
Bill.
got a committee working on the weather. And
You've got a weather
last
committee?
Last year was
Excellent.
stellar. Today was a good example
It
of
was.
what type of weather
Right.
we're expecting.
It was. Now, God.
Go, I was going to say, in fact, if any of your viewers,
Yes.
if you want to know
Yeah.
what day in September is always going to be the most spectacular day, go to the Cruise Blues and Brews website and look up our date, because that's the kind of weather we have.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
can get that information at our atriskboys.org.
That's right. You can.
Atriskboys.org
Yeah.
will lead you to the Cruise Blues and Brews event.
All right.
And there's information posted on that to register your car or get tickets in advance.
Now, I guess my question that we haven't asked yet, how did the idea of Cruise Blues and Brews come about?
Well, that robust group of people that is my
The robust
committee,
group. All right.
Yeah.
we sat around one evening
Right.
at our one of our monthly meetings,
right.
and we just beat it up until we came up with
Cruise
this
Blues.
concept.
We had
you
one of
go.
those. We had one of those meetings where nobody leaves the room
Until something
we come
happens?
up with a great idea,
Got
it.
and we took away the chairs. Everybody
was
and we
standing.
made everybody stand.
Or
We didn't
somebody
make-
sat
we
on
all
the
agreed-
floor.
We all agreed that everybody
Yeah.
would stand for the conversation.
Until-
and that we locked the doors and said, "All right." And we were writing on the
whiteboard?
pads and the
Yeah.
whiteboards to say all the great things that make an event
We had a ton of ideas.
Nice.
appealing.
Those-
And this is what the committee came up with.
Very
And
nice.
it's evolved now. This is
Yeah.
the second one, and last year, Wayne Carini was very supportive, gave us a lot
Yes.
of information on how to,
Yeah. That's right.
do one of these events.
Right.
And unfortunately, he had a commitment that he couldn't get out of this year, but he supports our fund,
Well-
and he has already signed up for 2017.
Well, you know what, Bill, and you know what, Gary? We're going to talk more about Clues, Brews, and Brews when we come back. We'll be right back after a short break.
Looking for Connecticut's best ride? You'll find it at the Closer to Free Ride. On September 10th, ride an inspiring 10, 25, 62.5, or 100 miles. Every dollar you raise supports research and care at Smilow Cancer Hospital at Yale, New Haven. This is your ride. Register today at rideclosertofree.org and help bring our world closer to free.
We need a new house because this one is too small. We need 37 bedrooms in order to accommodate the dramatic increase in children. Yale New Haven Children's Hospital. This new house will be more specialized in the rooms that we provide and much larger to accommodate the sheer volume of families who are going to need us.
And welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. Sitting here with Bill and Gary from the At-Risk Boys Fund. Guys, welcome back.
Thank you.
So, when we went to the break, we were talking about Clues, Brews, and Brews. Gary, I think we should continue this
Okay.
conversation.
I would love to do that.
Let's do it.
It's Cruise, Blues, and Brews. So
Yes.
Cruise are the cars.
Right.
Blues,
Is the new-
great blues bands.
Antique and unique cars.
And antique and unique
all are
cars.
welcome, okay?
And so that's the cruise part. The blues part, we've got the area's top blues bands. We've got the Sandy Connolly Band and
All right.
Blues on the Rocks.
Ooh.
And this coming year, we're going to have a special feature of a kids band. Children's band is going to be there.
Excellent.
And then we're going to have an all-star jam at the end of the Cruise Blues and Brews.
All right.
And then, of course, the Brews part, which is absolutely refreshing.
Local breweries?
Local brewing. If I'm allowed to mention a name, I'll mention a name.
No, let's just stay with local brewing.
Okay, a local brewery is
Yeah.
contributing the beer.
Nice.
So antique and unique cars, the area's top blues bands, upscale food trucks,
Yeah.
craft beer, a marketplace of vendors.
All right.
A marketplace of vendors. Bill, expand on that, because
Sure.
that might not mean something.
That, unlike a car event
Yes.
where you can buy different bumpers, I mean, we've got an event for the whole family. So
Nice.
if you're not interested in cars,
Right.
you're going to be interested in the music.
Right.
If you're not interested in music, you'll be interested in the food and the drink.
Right.
And if you're not interested in that, there's always shopping.
Right.
And
So
what
you're
we've
good.
got is a village, we're putting together a village of vendors doing everything from glass figurines, and he'll be demonstrating his craft right there at the show.
Really?
Yes.
Excellent.
And all the way to pottery and everything in between. So there's going to be something for everyone, and not to miss out on the kid zone, which is very important.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Well, that's done by Music Together. Jessica Nevins has been working on that last year for us, and she's continuing this year. Last year we had Touch a Truck, we had face painting, we had balloons, we had an area for the kids so that they could enjoy themselves with their Ben & Jerry's ice cream, who's going to be there. And she's promising bigger and better this year, so
Nice.
I can't wait to see what she
Very
brings to
nice.
the table. It's
Very
always fascinating.
And
Yes.
every guest who
Yeah.
attends the event
Yes.
will have the opportunity to vote on their favorite car. And we have some
Really?
yes, we have amazing awards that we give out to the car owners. And to make the judging open and equitable,
Okay.
everybody who comes through the gate, we give them a ballot.
All right.
They walk
Right.
around, they look at the
Yep.
cars, and on the
And they
ballot
can
they write their first, second, third choice.
Very nice.
And then our volunteers very quickly do the tabulation, and
Right.
we hand out the awards very ceremoniously, I might
Right
add.
on stage.
Right on stage that day. So
Very
we
nice.
really, the volunteers really did their homework, and we created this event to be appealing to the whole family. So you can come early and stay late, and you can move around, you can sit still, you can relax,
Right.
eat, play, enjoy the music.
Sounds like an awesome time.
It's a festival.
It is an
It
awesome.
sounds like
it's
an awesome time.
It's an awesome festival. It's
And
a
just
wonderful
to
time.
add to the awards,
Yes.
it's important to also know that we'll have sponsor awards also. So the People's Choice and sponsor awards, and they'll be presented on stage, and people will get to drive their car up front, the audience.
Really?
Yes.
Excellent.
So
Now-
everybody has a good time.
I can feel a vibe right now. It's coming right through all the cameras.
All right.
That everybody who is watching this is now thinking. I know exactly what they're thinking.
They want to see the board again.
They want to see the board again
All right.
because they're all thinking, how much does this cost, and where do I go to get tickets? That's the vibe.
Yeah, you know what?
That's
the vibe I was actually going to ask.
That's
Really?
the vibe I'm
Okay.
Yeah.
getting. See how sensitive we are?
But according to my notes, tickets are $15.
Their tickets are only $15. That's all.
For
That's
adults.
it.
And,
Right.
and it's
Children
remember,
under
this
12 are
this
free.
contribution, and you can get your tickets in advance and avoid the event lines
Right.
simply by going to atriskboysfund.org.
All right.
It's easy to navigate. You'll get all the information you need, and you'll have your tickets in hand.
Right.
And you can also register your car
Okay.
That's right.
before the event.
Yeah.
There's an area where you can, they'll ask you the questions on your car, and you can register that, and that's $15 for the driver and a passenger.
Very nice, very nice. And before we get into the event, I just have to let you guys know on a personal note, I've actually interviewed Cynthia Clegg from Community Foundation Middlesex County,
Good.
and they do a wonderful thing.
It's fantastic.
Their organization is just wonderful.
You know, it's summed up with that one phrase.
And we have to mention Thayer Talbot.
Exactly.
Yes. I know that name too.
She's our point person
Yep.
when it comes to
Sure.
the grant process,
Yes.
which is made very easy for our volunteers because of Thayer.
Yes.
So
Right,
kudos
right.
kudos to you, Thayer.
Exactly.
Good people doing great things.
Oh, great people
And,
doing awesome
you know,
things.
we would be remiss if we didn't mention something about our auction, I think.
Ooh, yes.
What auction? Hold
Uh,
on.
Well,
sometimes, you know how
glad
they
you
say-
asked, Pete.
Sometimes you say you save the best for last.
We could
Right.
say, all right, we still got time though, so.
Yeah.
By the time, well, shortly around when this program airs,
Yes.
on our website, there will be we're going to have an online auction.
Okay.
And we have not one, but 2 trips for an African safari that put out to the highest
A
bidder.
photo safari.
And yeah, it's a safari. It's a game. It's on a private game reserve, and it's a viewing. This isn't about hunting. It's
Right.
about going out and
Right.
exploring and experiencing nature at its very wild and
Yes.
wonderfulness. And the animal kingdom is extraordinary.
Excellent.
So there will be a trip to bid, which is for 2 people, and then another trip to bid, which will be for 4 people. And all the
right.
information will be on the website.
On the
But
website.
It'll be on our website and our Facebook.
Yep.
And we're putting the final details together now, but it'll take, by the end of the week, this week, we will be up and running.
Yeah.
On that.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're very excited
Excellent.
about that.
Excellent. So what else can we talk about the Cruise Blues and Brews of the At-Risk Boys Fund?
Well, we could
What
talk a
else?
little bit about some of the programs that we
Yeah,
funded.
please, go.
All right.
All right,
and-
some examples of grants, and if you'll forgive me, I'm going to refer to my notes.
That's okay.
If that's
That's fine.
allowed on your program, Pete.
Of
thank
course.
you. We have awarded $5,000 to the Middletown Summer Youth Employment Program.
Okay.
And that was great this past summer, placing the students into dynamic employment environments, helping young people get acquainted with and enable them to help get into the job market is not only good for the students, but it's great for the employers as well.
Excellent.
We've given $4,000 and change to the Center for Children's Advocacy.
Right.
This one is incredible. At the Connecticut Juvenile Training School, the youth who are there get in a workshop with the members of the police force,
Right.
and you take these 2 groups of people, and they learn how to communicate to one another in a way that is positive,
Right.
which sounds very obvious
sounds-
to us,
but it's not.
It's
but
not
too
really.
often in the streets, there is tense confrontation between police officers and
Right.
teenage boys, and they have found through the research that we are helping to fund that when you can just break down the barriers and get the 2 groups to talk to each other, the level of understanding increases, and it makes for a more peaceful, positive interaction, which we are thrilled about.
Excellent.
Also, quickly, because I know time
Yeah,
is
no,
precious
we're
here.
good, we're good. Go for it.
In the Middletown Public Schools, the 6th grade boys, we've provided funding for the All-Pro Dads.
Okay.
This gets dads and grandfathers into the school and spending time in school with the boys
Once a month.
once a month to
It's
connect.
boys and girls.
And girls, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Once
yes.
again,
Excellent.
improving the relationship between the parent and the child, and that's been very successful.
Very powerful. And here again, very simple. But it's something that they need help be able to put on that type of program.
Also, one of our committee's favorite is for 6th grade boys called the X-Men program.
Okay, what's that?
These are boys in 6th grade
Okay.
who are struggling. I would say failing in school is a fair.
All right, fine.
And
All right.
through this X-Men program, they are guided through their day with score sheets, and every single class they go to, they are given a grade for how well they pay attention, their level of participation, that they've
Homework,
completed their homework.
attendance,
Then they turn that
behavior.
they turn that sheet into a teacher, homeroom teacher at the end of the day, and they keep very close to one another in terms of positive outcome for positive behavior and rewards for that behavior. And our grants have provided them with the resources to take the boys out on field trips so they can enjoy themselves and go places and do things that they wouldn't otherwise be able to do. And in a wrapping note, I just want to say that we were thrilled when we did a site visit to meet some of the boys. The teacher told us that before the X-Men program started, every single one of those boys was failing. By
Right.
the time they got through their first year in the X-Men program, they were all not only doing well, but they were
On the honor roll.
They were on the honor roll.
Yeah.
Really?
So we have
Excellent.
tangible, measurable evidence
Excellent.
that the donors who help support us, the money is impacting lives.
Very nice. Gentlemen, before we say goodnight, we've got a little bit of time left, but before we do, let's mention Clues, Brews, and Brews. Cruise Blues and Blues, he
That's
tries
right.
to
We're
say.
cruising.
Don't try to say it fast.
I
We're
can't talk this
cruising.
afternoon.
Brews,
so-
blues, and
Been
brews.
saying
Yes.
it for 2 years, so we've got a head start.
All
on it.
right.
Right.
And you can find out more
Go.
information at atriskboys.org.
Okay.
And buy your tickets online. You'll find out some more information, who's going to be there, our sponsors. And if you'd like to sponsor, we're always looking for sponsors. There's packages there for vendors, and food vendors, and exhibitors.
An event is when?
It's September 24th
Okay.
at the Chester Fairgrounds, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for the general public.
And pricing for tickets is?
$15 a head for adults.
All right.
Children under 12 are free.
Excellent. Gentlemen, before we say goodnight, I want to thank you guys for personally coming down, spending some time with me, getting the word straight
Thank
out
you,
on
Pete.
your event.
Thank you, Pete.
And hopefully we'll have you on again.
That'd be great.
All right. On behalf of
We're
Bill,
in the neighborhood.
there you go. On behalf of Bill and Gary, I'm Pete. Thanks, good night, and we'll see you next week.